enjoying the game now. I want to play all the time, and you know, it's fun. I mean, golf now is fun for me. I look forward to playing. I look forward to practicing. I look forward to sending videos into the coaches, getting feedback, little tweaks, and just been a phenomenal experience. Love it. So my problem before I started the single plane swing was not one problem. It was many problems. I mean, it was just mainly inconsistency. You know, one day I would shoot, you know, a decent score. I may have broke 90 a couple of times, and that would have been a good day for me, but just super inconsistent. There would be days that I would hit some good shots, you know, maybe shoot a decent round, and then there'd be other days where I couldn't hit a ball. Like I would shank everything. The shanks were the big thing for me. Pushing the ball right, shanking the ball, you know, hitting the ball fat constantly. That was annoying, like to the point where my hand would hurt. So, you know, I just wasn't a really good golfer at all. And, you know, I put time into it. I took lessons many a times, spent a lot of time at the range. You know, I would swing in my yard, you know, put two tees down in the yard and try to swing through them. Like I would work at it, and nothing was working. So what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, and, you know, expecting a change. So for me, I was like, hey, you know, I'm on the fence, but nothing else has been working, so I'm going to go on this side of the fence, Graves Golf Academy, and just make a decision. And when you make that decision, commit to it. You know, that's the biggest thing, is you have to commit to it. And if you commit to it, you're going to see results. I promise you, no doubt about it. If you follow what they teach you, you're going to see results. It's just a matter of time. So one thing I really love about the academy is it's not just about the swing, you know, the full swing. It's about the short game as well. There's a lot of information and content in there that's been really useful. You know, how to hit out of a bunker, how to chip, how to putt. All of these things are just super important for your game, and that's one of the main reasons why my handicap dropped so dramatically, is because I was able to go in there and learn how to, you know, learn how to chip and putt, learn how to read putts. You know, hazard or conditions where, you know, maybe you're in the rough, or again, bunker shots. Most people hate going in the bunkers. I enjoy it now because I know how to do it, and I get a good result when I'm in the bunker. Not that I try to go in the bunker, obviously, but when I'm in there, I'm not panicking. And so, again, information on the short game, just the, you know, everything's in there. But for me, the short game is something that there's just not a lot of information out there that is, you know, is very helpful. So I love it. I love going in there and working on my short game, being able to find whatever it is I need, and it's been super helpful. What surprised me the most inside of Graves Golf Academy is, you know, when I send a video into coaches, just the knowledge these guys have. I mean, they're able to see things that I'm like, oh man, I didn't even notice that. You know, in my swing mechanics or my grip. You know, early on there was a lot of things I was working on, but you know, now that I've got it down pretty good, still making little tweaks. You know, we're always working for perfection. And again, if pros are using coaches, you know, I'm going to use them. So the coaching is just second to none. I mean, it's so helpful, and they tell you, you know, make sure you send videos in. That was very surprising to me. Is like, you know, they're super adamant about making sure that you're getting helped. Like, they don't want you to be a part of it if you're not going to use it. And you know, that was kind of odd to me. You know, they're not just trying to take my money. They really truly care and want me to get better. And they're, you know, sending your videos. They're not sending in enough videos. You know, are you practicing? And you know, just holding me accountable. And I just absolutely love that. It's awesome. So it's been about a year, I think maybe a little longer than a year, since I've, you know, been working with the single plane swing. Prior to, I, you know, may have broke 90 a few times. My handicap, if I had to have a handicap, it'd probably be, you know, somewhere around 20 maybe. My handicap's lowered to 7.1 as we speak. And I live in Pittsburgh, so it's not like I get to golf all year round. But again, I mean, it's just being able to learn every aspect of the swing. They're able to qualify the golf swing. You know, Todd knows, like he proves it through biomechanics. There's just so much knowledge and information on why the traditional golf swing is super hard to learn and why it doesn't work for most people, and why the single plane golf swing is simplified and will work for you if you just put what you're learning to use. Tim, with his short game knowledge, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. Like, I've never seen so much information on the short game, and to be able to take that information, put it to work, and use it in my own game, and see that it actually does work. These guys are just geniuses. I mean, they really are. So, super blessed to be a part of this academy and have Tim and Todd Graves, at the forefront of it. They're just awesome people and super knowledgeable.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Harper, and I went single plane approximately 22 years ago. That's when I started. I saw an article about Mo Norman in the Golf Digest, and it said nobody knows what Mo knows. So I read that, and I was quite interested. So I started playing around with it for a few years. So I went to the school with my oldest son, and we both kind of fell in love with the single plane. 3 months after I went to the school, I got my first hole-in-one. So that really enticed me to go completely with the single plane. Well, I've had some medical issues and bad back, so that put me out of commission for a while. So the only way I could swing was with the single plane. I could not do conventional golf anymore, so I was completely single plane. It's the only way I could swing the club. And I noticed as I got a little older, I was still maintaining the distance that I had when I was younger. So I really liked that. I was more consistent and enjoyed the game just tremendously. The schools are great. Boy, it's really evolved, but it's improved tremendously. And I really love the on-demand, and I'm a gold member and have been for quite a few years. And I really like the coaches, that I can send something in and they'll watch my video and get me back on track. And the coaches I've met, Trent and Clay, have done an excellent job with me. So I've talked 4 of my friends into coming to the Graves Golf Schools. One that lives in St. George, and she loved it, absolutely. And 2 that live in Idaho Falls, and they loved it. And then the greatest thing I did come back this year was to be with my son and his son. So we have 3 generations here learning the single plane. Well, the most noticeable improvement with the single plane for me was hitting a lot more fairways, more consistent in the takeaway and in the swing in general. It lowered my scores quite a bit. I got down to a 5 handicap for many, many years and played in a lot of tournaments, won quite a few, and got high rank in quite a few other ones, and it's just really enjoyed it. And a lot of my friends thought I was crazy switching because I was pretty good conventionally, but I wanted that consistency and the one setup, and I didn't have to listen to multiple pros telling me this and that and changing my mind. So I just stayed with it because I love the idea of one model to go with. That's what I did. And here I am. I love it. It works. It's simple. My friends all know how simple it is because they watch me as I take their quarters or whatever. We have some small little bets and we have a great time with it. I want to get up every day. I love to practice and I love the game, and I just really look forward to every day that I can go play.
Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to the November version of the Plane Talk, and I want to thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for being part of Graves Golf. And I hope you guys are enjoying this Plane Talks. You know, we try to do one of these every month. I always say we have guys that have been with us for 7 hours, 7 days, 7 years, 17 years. So we got all different kinds of levels, people that listen to these Plane Talks, and we're glad you're part of us. My name is Tim Graves. I was the co-founder of the Graves Golf Academy. We started this company about 25 years ago, preaching and teaching the philosophies of Mo Norman. And really the biggest thing about what we do is we talk about this, but we don't just teach the golf swing, we teach the entire game. Okay, we teach you how to play better golf, and playing better golf is not just the golf swing, it's the entire game. And we'll get into a lot more of that tonight. We'll get into more questions about that tonight and so on. But tonight, what I want to do, or today, what I want to do, and yes, in the last Plane Talk we did, we had I think a gentleman on there who was complaining because it wasn't quote live. Well, I'll be happy to do them live, except that it gets dark at 5:30 now at night. There's snow on the ground at times. There's ice on the ground. It's 10 degrees out. So when I get a chance, I'm gonna get out during the day on a nice day, a couple days early. I'm gonna be able to do some of these outside. So I think you guys appreciate that. We can actually get on the range and show you what's going on, or get in the golf course and show you guys what's going on. So while we have the opportunity, we're definitely gonna do that. First things first, I've got James Bell with me here, but before I get him in here, and talk about schools real quick, I want to talk about what just started. It actually started yesterday. The winter training just started, okay? And I know a lot of you guys are involved in this. The winter training, which the first full swing of the winter training just went out. So you guys are involved in this. You got a video about some drills to do in indoor training of the grip and the setup, which was position 0, position 1 of the full swing, okay? And hopefully you guys have got that. If you're in our winter training, you haven't got that, give us an email. We got to make sure you get that, okay? Because we got a Zoom session coming up later this week that we're gonna have a Q&A session on this. Now guys, this is all recorded, so you're getting to see all this recorded, okay? But you got the full swing this week. Next week, you're gonna get my short game. Okay, it's indoor training on over 50% of your scoring. So guys, right now, so the guys who are in the winter training, We're going to work on over half of your scoring, 50% of your scoring. We did indoor putting training. That's next week. The week after that, we had the first installment of the flexibility. Flexibility in how you hit position 0, how you can work on that setup, how to get proper shoulder tilt, how to get proper hip tilt, to get that flexibility. That's coming out in 3 weeks. And at the end of the month, we got a session of me and Paul Monahan talking about how to practice perfectly, how to absorb this, how to get subconscious movement in this, how to get your conscious movement to turn into subconscious movement. We've got that working on the end of the month. And then we started all over again next month in December, okay? That's the winter training program that's going on right now. It's phenomenal. I mean, this is the ultimate training you're getting over the winter. But here's what it comes down to. You want to cut your handicap in half. I mean, I'm going to be like that ad. You want to cut your handicap in half. You want to significantly get better over this winter. You want to come out in the spring and never play better golf. This is what we're doing. Because here's the other funny thing, and they're not funny. It's what I'm doing. So these things you're seeing, I'm also doing in the background. I don't care if you're a 30 handicap, you're a scratch player, a professional, you just started golf, you've been playing 40 years, you've been with us for 7 days, 17 days, 700 days. I don't care. This works for everybody. That's what this is all about. This isn't like training for the newbie or training for the expert. That's not what this is. It works for everybody. Okay? Because what it does is it shows you, like, for example, how to train and check your putting stroke inside in the winter. It gives you checkpoints. Well, the scratch golfer may be really good on 3 out of the 4 checkpoints, but that 4th one he's really weak on, and guess what? He's got to build that over the winter. So by the spring, he's phenomenal, much better putter because he's fixed the fourth area in his putting. Whereas that guy who can't break 100, maybe breaks on in all 3 or all 4, but he knows how to progress through them now. He knows how to go through those checkpoints. Because remember what winter training is all about, or any training is all about. You look at the fundamental. We give you a couple fundamentals. We understand the whys of the fundamentals. Then you learn how to practice those through drills. Then you get the checkpoints. And that's what it's all about. And this is all done indoors. That's what this is all about. So the beauty of this is all you guys out there in the winter training, you're going to take this into the spring, the summer, the fall, because you can do this when you're on the road, you're in your hotel, you're in your basement, you're in your garage, whatever you're doing, you can do this training. This is the beauty of it. This is what we can do, okay? Anyway, so if you guys I hope you're in winter training. If you're not, you're missing out the next 4 months of work that we're doing. It's phenomenal. This is what we focus everything on right now. We focus everything on this training over the winter. That's what we do, okay? Now, next announcement real quick, and I'm going to get James Bell in here. Okay, James is coming in. And you guys know James, 2 things James does. He does a million things for me, but the 2 biggest things he does is he's my school manager. So he runs all the guys in the school, so all the guys in the field. We have multiple instructors. I mean, it's in double-digit instructors out there now.
And growing.
And growing, yeah. So all the schools you guys see out there from 1 day, 3 day, or 2 day, 5 day, 3 day, specialty, James, those instructors are there. James is managing those guys, or he's there, okay? So he runs all that. That's number 1. Number 2 is he's a master club fitter, so he helps me with club fitting, and we do a lot of club fitting together. Okay. Runs the trade-in, trade-up program and so on. But the thing I want to bring in James for right now is we got a special going on, right, James? We got
yes.
And this you want to hear this. So you guys that have turned your computer off right now or went to the bathroom, whatever, they usually do these through the ads. They're going to miss this, okay? Yeah. So hopefully
it's their loss if they miss it. That's okay.
We have a 2-part special here, okay? We have coming up in next year, we have a lot of 3-day schools, right, James?
Yep, starting the end of January.
Okay, end of January through, I think, through probably end of April? Or first
right
of May?
now through May.
Okay, through May. We've released a lot of 3-day schools, okay? And this is the majority of what we have out there. We've been asked to have, the marketing department wants us to do a 2-part Black Friday special. This is an early Black Friday special for you, right, James?
So earlier than we normally would.
Earlier than we normally would, yeah. Black Friday we know is not for a couple weeks. So here's the special. For any non-member out there, so if you're not a member of Graves Golf Academy, so you're not a level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 member, you get $300 off any 3-day school.
We'll give member pricing on
member pricing.
School.
So any non-member out there, okay? Any non-member for the next 48 hours, listen to me carefully, you get member pricing, $300 off any of the 3-day schools, okay? That's saving you, I mean, literally it's saving you like 25, 30%. It's saving you a ton,
yeah.
Okay? It's saving you a lot, okay? Any member out there, okay, we're gonna double your savings off the school. So if you normally get $500 off, we're gonna give you $1,000 off, right?
Yep.
You get $400 off, we're gonna give you what?
800.
800 off. So guys, level 4 guys out there, you can come to 3-day schools for just a few $100.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to sign up for a level 3 school right now, you can come for just a few $100, am I right?
True.
Okay, level 3 guys, you get $600 off, am I right?
Yes.
This is for 3-day schools only. And it's for the list that you see below. We're going to give you guys a list of 3-day schools.
You want me to scare them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Want me to scare my non-members?
Yeah.
If you take us up on this offer,
Yeah.
for $100 more,
Yeah.
you get a year-long coaching with a school.
Yeah, there you go. For $100 more, you get year-long coaching with the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the non-members.
Yeah.
This
Guys,
is a no-brainer.
this is a no-brainer. This is Black Friday special. This is for 3-day schools only. So don't call us up and say, can you do this for a 5-day school or a short game school or especially now, this is for 3-day schools only. This is the majority, this is our bulk. This is because guys, I'll have 3 or 4 short game schools next year. We'll have maybe 2 bio schools next year. We'll have 3 mental game schools or IAI schools. We'll have we'll have limited camps. 3-day schools is our bread and butter, okay? And that's what this is. So, well, James is here, real quick. So tell him again. So one more time, explain that to him again so they know, because we're not stuttering on this, okay?
On the 3-day schools, if you're a non-member, we're going to give you member pricing, which means you're going to get $300 off the regular price of our schools.
Right.
If you're a member, no matter what level member you are, whether you're a level 1 through 5,
Right.
we're going to double what your normal member discount is.
Right.
So your level 4 guys, you're getting $800 off a school.
Right.
The 3-day schools.
Okay, now guys,
Make it
and
straight.
I'm gonna be on, and I'm gonna throw the last thing out to you. And James knows this, but he's always the nice guy. I don't care to be the nice guy. It's okay. I'm like whatever.
I'm learning not to be the
I
nice
know,
guy.
but he's the nice, sweet guy. I'm the other guy. Here's the deal. In 2025, the price of schools are going to go up. Okay, and they have to. You guys know that. Not a lot, but they're going to go up to cover the just administrative costs and so on. It's going to cover, so they're going to go up a little bit. This is before the pricing goes up, so it even saves you a little bit more.
You're going to lock it in at our prices right now.
So, guys, okay. Now here's the other deal. If you're going, it's November 12th, and I'm signing up for a school in April or March, and I don't know if I can make those days or not, or I'm not really sure if I can make those days. Book one, and when you find out you can't make those days, you contact these guys, and they'll switch you.
Yeah,
All right, James?
Yeah, we're going to put it on a certificate, and the certificate is good for.
Right. But you guys, you can't call us 2 days before, 3 days before. But if you call us a month or 2 before, because something's planned over it, we can switch you, no problem at all. You're not going to cost you any money or anything if you do it far enough out. So, because we get a lot of guys that say, I can't do it that far in advance. Sign up and do it now. Get yourself in and do that. Get yourself for a 3-day school. We good?
Get into the schools, absolutely.
All right. You want to tell me anything else about the schools? The only last thing is short game school.
If you're missing them, it's your fault. I mean, it's.
Okay.
We've had, we're on the downhill slide right now going into the year. We'll start up again fresh. We're excited. We're making little changes to the schools.
So last thing, and I'll just throw while James is in here, because then we'll go on. I didn't want
I can stay here and talk forever.
I know you can. Okay, it's November 12th. We have a short game school in March that is beyond sold out. It's in Phoenix, and it's gone. And the reason it's sold out is because we have all these people coming back to the school because of what they've done to their handicap. Yeah. Basically, they go from a 20 handicap to a 15 to a 10, just come to short game school. And you guys, they're on the chat room, talk to them, talk to the forum. We're not making this up. I mean, and schools are selling out because of this. We're not going to have another short game school probably till May or later, okay? But we have one in December, right, James?
Yes, 5th and 6th of December.
Okay, we have one the 5th and 6th of December in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, beautiful
facility.
facility.
I run the school, James runs the schools, I'm there, master instructors, I am there, okay? And we have some spots available in that. I know it's a tough time of year to travel. People don't travel it, but it's in Phoenix. It's unbelievably beautiful there that time of year, and we have open spots in that. I would strongly, strongly, strongly suggest if you can get yourself into a place that reduce your handicap the quickest and get the most ultimate instruction for short game, get into that school. Because if you're thinking about something like that, you ain't getting into it until at least May or June or later. Yeah. And it's just not going to be available.
And it rolls right into what we're doing over the winter training program. 100%. And it's going to roll right into all of the work you're going to do that we're going to show you at this short game school. Right. It's all indoor stuff you can do over the winter.
There's also a 3-day school before it.
There is.
And a short game school right there. So if you wanted to combine it, you could go to 5 days, go to 3-day, then the short game, 3-day, then the short game. You could combine it if you wanted. But guys, I'm just telling you that because I already know, and James will know, we know this. We constantly get emails about when's the next short game school, when's the next short game school, when's the next mental game school. And we top them out, and the short game school in March is gone. So now, guys, that's 6 months off or 5 months off. It's gone. So it's sold out. So get in December.
And if you want to put them together, I'll make you a deal.
Yeah, there you go. You want to put them together 3-day in the short game?
Come talk to me.
James will make you a deal. Okay. So thanks, bud. Appreciate it. All right. So guys, that's it with the schools. So there's your Black Friday special. I got that done. And then guys, I cannot stress enough about the short game school in December, about cutting handicap and also working on in the entire game. So all right, guys. So let's get away from the announcements. Let's get into some questions. All right. Well, let's get to the first question. And this one came from Chris. and it's kind of interesting. It says, can I use conventional clubs for the single plane swing? Well, number one, it's kind of like an announcement, but number one is there's really no such thing as a conventional club, okay? Because what is conventional? I mean, here's the deal. So many people talk about conventional, but what you're doing is you're comparing single plane versus everything else, and that's fine. But I mean, I mean, think of all the other instructors that are out there. There's thousands and thousands of them. You could say it's his swing and his swing and his swing and his swing, okay? So it's not conventional versus single plane. It's single plane versus other, okay? And here's the deal. All I care about is you use a club that fits you in your single plane swing, okay? So the club needs to be fit for you for length, line angle, shaft flex, grip size, and so on. Because if it doesn't, it's very, 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 very difficult, if not impossible, to make swing changes if the club does not fit you and the swing you're working towards, okay? And that's the key. Because here's what happens. You guys are all in the system. Maybe you've been in it like for 7 days or 7 years or whatever it is. And what happens is you want to stand a certain distance from the golf ball. You want to stand 26 inches from a 6-iron. Okay, you want to have a certain tilt in the shoulders. Okay, you want to, and so on. You want to get in those certain positions, okay, which is, well, that's our methodology. Well, here's the problem. If your club is too short or too long, okay, you won't get the right spine tilt. You won't get the right shoulder tilt. If your lie angle's incorrect, when you set up in a perfect setup, in a perfect position, that club should be flat in the ground. If it's not, you're gonna make an adjustment from getting closer or getting further away to the ball, okay? So number one, you won't even set up properly. A perfectly fit club allows you and will let you, and typically does, set you up perfectly. Here, that's number one. So just think about it. Position 0, a perfectly fit club allows you to get in position 0. A non-perfectly fit club for you, for length and lie angle, you'll never hit position 0 right. And I promise you, you won't. That's number one. Number two is, let's say I have a perfectly fit club and I set up and I hit a shot, okay? And I hit a good golf shot. That made a divot, cut through it, and anybody will tell you on a good single plane swing or a good methodology with a perfectly fit club, it feels like it's cutting through that ground like a knife through butter. When people say, what does it feel like? It says it feels like it's effortless. It feels like even making a divot, it felt effortless. Well, here's what happens. If I have a club that's too upright, okay, so the angle of the club's too upright, the lie angle's upright, or too flat. When I hit the ground, it's gonna dig the heel or dig the toe. Even 1 degree off is gonna dig the heel and dig the toe. And the second it does that, it creates a deflection into the body at impact. And that deflection goes through the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, the neck, the back. That deflection will do what? Not only will it feel bad, it's gonna potentially create injury. Well, when it feels bad, you now consciously and subconsciously go, okay, something wasn't right there. I don't know if that swing was good or not, but it felt terrible. So you make adjustments away from a good golf swing. And we see this continually, because here's what happens, and I get this every day. I get guys that email me and say, I'm not gonna change my clubs or get new clubs until I fix my swing. You'll never fix your swing. It won't happen. Or it'll happen so slow that you'll just quit doing it. Because you can, guys, anybody in the chat right now, anybody on the chat, so I want everybody out there in the chat, and I'm gonna call this out right now. There's people that are watching this right now. They're watching this webinar and they're in the chat, okay? And they have gone through this process. They have tried the swing without perfectly fit clubs, and now they got perfectly fit clubs, and now they're doing the swing. Let everybody know out there how much easier it was, or what your experiences were. Don't listen to me. Listen to them, okay? Because here's the other deal, and I'm gonna throw this out to you. If you don't use our swing, okay? So let's say you choose to use Double H's swing, or whatever. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna name other instructors out there. Get a club to fit his system. Notice what I just said there. Go get a club built to fit his or her system, okay? If you don't use their swing. So I'm not saying that you have to do it for us. Do it for anybody you swing for. We happen to be the single plane swing. You've got to get a club to fit the system you're working to. It's really easy for us because we can statically fit you, because we know it by model. We know how far you're supposed to stand. We know the angles by your height, your wrist and floor. We know the grip size by your hand size. We can do it real easy, okay? Guys, email me at timg@graysgolf.com, timg@graysgolf.com. Trust me, it's not the chicken or the egg here. You've got to get the club built for you. It's then easy to make swing changes, and it will happen much, 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 much faster for you if that club fits you perfect. So no, the ultimate answer, conventional clubs do not work, or other clubs for other systems do not work if you truly want to become a single plane golfer. So the next question. All right, the second question here came from Jim. and I still have James here, so I'm gonna pull him in here real quick. So it actually said, I'm interested in coming to a golf school, but I wanna know what a typical day entails, okay, in a golf school. And so this is gonna sound like another ad here, James.
Sorry.
Okay, well, we're just answering questions.
It's all good.
Okay, yeah, we're answering questions, okay? James happened to be here. Guys, here's number one, and I want to talk about this for a second. First of all, we got a golf school going on behind us.
Yes, this is
okay,
neat.
we got a golf school behind us. Okay, but here's number two, is I want to tell you guys something. Before James, he's gonna talk to you guys for just a couple minutes about this, about a typical day entails. I want to tell you guys something. The two biggest reasons why people don't come to our golf schools is, number one, they're nervous about coming to the school. They think they're gonna be the worst golfer there. Okay.
True.
That is so far from the truth. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. Trust me, you'll have somebody worse than you. In fact, they'll all be like you. Okay. Trust me. Okay. That's number one. Number two, they think they're going to be the oldest guy there.
Yeah.
And they're never the oldest guy. Guys, our average age at our school is well over 60. It's usually 65 to 70 in some schools. Okay. I mean, I've had a 93-year-old student come to our
96?
school. 96-year-old guy come to our school. That beat the record of 93.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
Okay.
too.
But guys, here's the deal. Our average age is over 60 years of age. In fact, it's mid-60s, okay? And trust me, we get all levels handicapped. Do we get a lot of scratch players come? We get a couple, every so often, okay? But guys, our typical guys at 20, 30 handicap, maybe even higher. We got brand new golfers. We have guys that have played for 60 years. Okay, we literally.
They all have the same problems.
We all have the same problems. We're trying to do that. We're all getting older, okay? But anyway, so I want to tell you that straight out. So don't come to school because you're thinking you're going to be the oldest, or you're going to be the worst, or you're going to be embarrassed. Trust me, you're not, okay? And you're not, okay? And so talk about a typical day, just real quick, kind of run through quick what a typical day is at our school.
Quick, let's go get past the first other fear that they have. We are not going to hit golf balls all day.
No, we're not.
We're not going out on the range, and it's not going to be I'm going to wear your butt out over.
Right.
No, it's not going to happen.
Guys, our process of learning is a lot about, remember, we go through the process of learning the fundamental, the why of the fundamental, giving you drills how to do those to make those changes, and then what? Checkpoints to make sure you're doing the drills right.
Yeah. So typically we'll start the day off with a talk of what we're trying to accomplish for the day. Day one, we're really going to go through that process of learning talk.
Right.
You know, how are you going to get the best out of the school?
Right.
That'll be a short talk. We'll go out, and then every day is structured short game in the morning, more full swing mechanics in the afternoon.
Right.
So a typical day one is the process of learning talk. We'll do putting fundamentals, and then we're working hard on making sure that the fundamentals are right. They understand why we're doing it.
Right.
We'll give them the checkpoints, and we'll show them how to practice.
But guys, remember what he just said here. I'll bring this up. Whether you're 3-day, 5-day schools, our typical schools, is remember what he said. You got short game in the morning, but that's also with the Q&A sessions and talks.
Yep.
And then we get long game in the afternoon. And a lot of you guys are going to sit there and go, well, I'm just coming out. I just want to learn the long swing, the full swing. Here's the issue. Guys, the short game builds the full swing. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand our or Mo's methodology.
True.
The putting builds the full swing. The chipping builds the full swing. You need to understand how the same motion in the chipping motion is the same motion of the downswing and a full swing. Meaning, when you're coming over the top, I promise you, you're straight and you're leading you out and chipping. But here's the issue. You can fix your chipping motion easy, which will then build into fixing your full swing motion. Yeah. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a very difficult time getting this. So it's a process. It's like building up a process. We teach you putting, which teaches you to get your hands leading, which will teach you how not to cast your golf club. We then teach you chipping, which tells you how to move the lower body properly, how to drop this trail shoulder. It's in chipping. And then we move into pitching, which gets you moving that club properly, toe up to toe over, teach you how to release the club, teach you how to move the lower body and release the club. Huh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
The driver, moving the lower body, releasing
first.
the club. And then we move you up into what? Onto irons, into hybrids, into drivers. It's a system that moves up. And those that think you can just go to the full swing and learn it without learning the other part, the short game, they're mistaken. They're beyond mistaken, okay? And that's why we call it 2 birds with 1 stone. We give you that short game instruction, which then is 75% of your scoring, 75% of your scoring, which then builds your full swing. So then all of a sudden, you're not only working on 75% of your scoring, you're working on the same movements in your full swing, but you slow it down, you're miniaturizing it, you're making it small so you can learn it. Because I can promise you right now, you're working on keeping that lead knee flex through impact, and you pull out a driver, you will not figure it out. It is a guarantee. You're moving that club too fast. But you go working that lead knee flex on chipping or on pitching, you can actually see it, you can focus on it, and then you do it over time, you build it up, that will work into your driver. That's the way it has to be. Yep. And that's why we do these schools. Guys, we've done these for years and years and years and years. And we've seen mega success in these schools. And the biggest thing is, and this I'm gonna ask James this, what percentage of the students that come to a school have been to another school before? What percentage did they have, like the repeat students?
80%, 90%.
Listen to what he's saying here. I thought it was 70 at one time. It's up to 80 or 90 now.
And it's not because they don't get
It's because they want the next
everything.
step. It's because
they want the follow-on.
and if you guys want a number deal, it's because they come in at a 30 handicap or 20 handicap and they go work on it. All of a sudden they jump down to like a 10 or a 15 and they're like going, holy crap, I've done this for 30 years. I couldn't figure it out. And all of a sudden, with 30 years with whatever, and all of a sudden I'm in this system and all of a sudden it's not that hard.
No.
And then they come again, Guys, we have guys that have been to 20 schools and they've gone from a 30 handicap to a 2 or a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, we got the guys to take the four a year.
Yeah, just because it's a system that allows you to get better no matter what level you're at. And that's the thing. So I know this is a long conversation.
That's okay. We giggle between us. We say, well, they've tasted the Kool-Aid and they want more. But
Guys,
they understand. They get an understanding. It's like, oh, this makes sense.
Here's what's going to
Let's
interesting.
make
And
it
I
the next
just
step.
had this talk an hour ago with these guys.
Yep.
Here's what's happening at home with you guys. You're overcomplicating it. It's much simpler than you think. You're overcomplicating it because your brain's saying this has got to be hard because I can't quite figure it out. Well, then you get yourself in a vicious cycle of overcomplicating the golf swing. And then when you overcomplicate it, you give yourself an out or an excuse. You walk into with us at a camp or in a school or camp and we sit there and say, guys, it's not this complicated. We're going to find the 1 or 2 things you need to work on. We're going to show you exactly what you need. We're going to give you drills on how to do it. We're going to miniaturize it. We're going to show you small versions of it. So now you can go work on that. And all of a sudden your brain goes, this wasn't that hard.
It's not that bad.
This is why Mo Norman, every single time we used to do schools and Mo was with us, Mo would walk away and the 2 things he would say to all the students, and we have it on video.
Yeah.
It's so much easier than you guys think it is. It's so much simpler than you think it is. And you need to get out of your own way. You're overcomplicating it. We want to do that. Human nature, we want to do that.
Yes.
If we can't figure it out right away, we want to make it complicated. We want to convince our brain this, we've got all these swing thoughts and I just can't get it. No, you walk into school and we just take a breath, simplify it. Let's get you back to the basics. Let's get you back to what you need to work on. That's what the schools are all about.
Clear your brain.
Clear your brain,
keep
yeah.
it simple.
And that's why you get so much success and guys keep coming back because they want us to simplify it again for them. We want to simplify it again for them. And that's what we do at the schools. So again, thanks.
Thanks, boss.
All right, we'll go to the next question. The next question is from Jose, and it was, do you have any drills to help me from coming over the top? I mean, this is from Jose, this is from John, this is from Mike, this is from Sam, this is from Peter, this is from Chris. Okay, this is from everybody. This is from Gloria, it's from Marilyn. Okay, it's from everybody. You know, what's the drill to keep over the top? Okay, and so guys, this is what's happening. Number one is we need to get more specific with you. So I need to see why from the top of your swing you're going over the top. But I'll give you the general principle right now. I'll give you the general what's going on. Okay. Let's say you got the right distance to the golf ball. So you're standing 26 inches from a 6-iron, okay? And let's say you have a good setup. Let's say you got good shoulder tilt. Let's say you got good spine tilt. Let's say you're in a good position to set up, okay? So I'm gonna pretend you got that, okay? Now, let's say you're getting position 1 and you're doing a decent job hitting position 1, okay? Now you go to position 2 and the club is basically, it's close to being unplaned or unplaned. So I'm giving a lot here. Okay, so I'm giving a lot because chances are we have issues with that, but I'm giving that, okay? So you're at the position 2 now and you got a good position 2. This is why we got to see a coach or you want to send in a video to a coach because I'll be honest with you, the chance of hitting position 2 correctly is pretty small if you haven't worked with a coach, okay? Because it's the perception versus reality, but we're okay. Now, we're on position 2. Most golfers or most people have created a move from position 2 that does this on the first move. So what they do is they've turned their hips and shoulders to get back, but instead of separating the lower body and getting the hips ahead of the shoulders, so the hips start first, they turn them together. And when the hips and shoulders go together, this club, and from a down the line view, you'll see this club will come over the top every single time. And the reason is because as this hip and knee are pulling out, so pulling away from the ball, this shoulder goes towards the ball. Think of a bungee tied from the knee to the shoulder. I talk about this a lot. If I'm pulling this way, it's pulling my shoulder across. It's just the way you're built, it's the way we're all built, and the club comes across the plane over the top swing. Now, trust me, if you're doing it with your driver and you're hitting this big slicer top or maybe a pole, okay, you're doing it with your wedge. You might not see it as much with the wedge because it's not going as far and it's not as dramatic, but you're doing it with every club. That would be the next question because I get, well, I do it with my driver, but not my, yes, you do. You do it with all your clubs, okay? So what you've got to learn and what you've got to master, what you've got to do is from the top of the swing, you've got to learn to drive this lower body, this trail hip, this lead knee, this trail knee towards that lead toe. or you can think of it towards the target, or towards, it really feels like right field. It is driving down. Notice, it's not sitting this way, it is driving forward. Now, that motion starts before the shoulders start. So this motion starts prior to the downswing, okay? And then what happens is you do that, it drops this trail shoulder. So now all of a sudden from the top of my swing, if I move my lower body correctly, my body drives, my trail shoulder drops, now the club has a chance to come back on plane, okay? But it's all about getting that shoulder dropping under or this direction versus over. And the only way you can do that is to get the lower body moving properly. Listen to me carefully, I'm not going to stutter on this. To get this shoulder moving correctly, which allows the club to get on plane, you have to get the lower body moving correctly. Well, how do you do that? How do you do it? You go chip, okay? You go chip. Because I promise you, you go out here and start taking swings, you're going to naturally just do this. You've done it your whole life, but that's just what you do. What we're going to do is we're going to set up on a chip. We're going to get the lower body open. So I've got my chipping board here. Okay, and if you notice, this is how it's built. The lower body is open, the upper body is square. So now, I set this board down, okay? And I set the ball in the back of the stance, chipping, okay? And now I get the lower body open, I get the upper body square. I just created separation at setup. So I'm gonna teach the body what to feel. That's where I'm at now, okay? You don't do that in a full swing, I'm doing the chip. So now my lower body's open, my upper body's square, and I can check it. Now I set up over it and I hit a chip. And when I hit a chip, I check the check system. So I set up over it and I say, nice little soft chip. And I check the check system. And now here's the one out of a bunch. I lay my club right now across my knees and it matches the lower part of this board. Okay, so notice, when I took this club back, okay, my body turned. See, look at my lower body, the knee's twisted, boom. Now I make impact and look at my lower body set. I set into the lower body because this is what a majority, if not all of you, are going to do that have this issue. You're going to set up, you're going to hit a chip, and you're going to look down and your lower body is going to be wide open. It's not going to match the bottom of this board anymore. And that did what to my shoulders? It drug us right across. So I'm going to give you a perfect down the line view here. So I'm going to hit a chip, I'm going to hold my finish. Boom. Now, hold my finish. Look at my shoulders. I'm going to leave them right where they are. Put the club up. At impact, my trail shoulders down, my lead shoulders up slightly, and they're still down the line. Now, I'm going to show you what you're doing. You set up at impact, you're doing this. Look at my lower body. It opened up. Look where my shoulders are now. Right across the top. There's your over the top move. Okay? And guess what I just described? I described a very miniature part of the winter training. Very small part. This is like 1/50th of the winter training we do. This is teaching you how to use the small versions and build into the big version. That's what this is. Because you can do all this inside. Okay? Now, combine that with having a Zoom and talking about it, sending a video into the coach. Ding, 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 ding. You guys understand? This is how you do this inside. But most of you guys won't do this. You're going to go back in the range and say, I'm going to try to work. It's not going to work that way. Nobody learns that way. Nobody. This is why only 10% of golfers get better. 90% will get no better or worse every time they practice because they don't know how to practice. They don't know how to miniaturize it. They don't know how to simplify it. They don't know how to combine this, what I just showed you. Okay? And that's what we do. That's why this is called Plain Talk, which is everybody out there. And I know 90% of you guys watch this aren't getting better. Okay? They're not. 90% of you guys out there who are not having a check system, who do not come to us routinely, who do not do this, you guys are just floating around guessing, okay? The 10% that are getting better are in our system. They're sending in videos to our coach. They're in our winter training. They're in our Zoom calls. They're in our conference. They're in our check systems. That's how you get better, okay? And that's what we pride ourselves on. Because we got tens of thousands of people we work with, tens of thousands. And the ones that get better are part of this system with us, okay? They let us, or they work with us, and we continually check their process and progress to make sure they're getting better. That's how you do this, okay? And this is just a very small part. Notice what you did there. You said, how do I stop coming over the top? And I literally brought it back to showing you how chipping will get you to stop from going over the top. And if you don't learn that motion, I promise you, you're not going to stop going over the top. Can't happen, okay? And if you want the next example of this, it's real simple. Think about martial arts. It's the same thing. Martial arts teaches a series of movements that then eventually you get these series of movements, you put them together, you can become a black belt. But you have to go through all the different levels. And I don't even know the levels. My son was in it years ago. He could tell me the levels. He's behind the camera right now. He doesn't even remember. It's like white belt, yellow belt. I'm saying this wrong. Brown belt, black belt. Okay? Well, what do you have to do? You learn, you start at the basic level. I think it's white belt. Well, guess what? White belt is able to get in a proper setup. Then you go to yellow belt. That's going to get you what? To move the lower body properly. Notice, we haven't gotten near the next step. Then all of a sudden, I'm going to get you toe up, toe over, which is a pitch. Then I'm going to get you what? Guys, that's what this is all about. And then we can put it into full swing, and it's real easy then. But if you just jump straight into that full swing, you're going to get the crap beat out of you. You're going to get the crap beat out of you. It's like walking into a ring with a black belt and saying, I'm going to go fight this guy, and I'm a white belt. It's going to be a joke, and that's what you're trying to do. You've got to move yourself up in the process. You've got to move yourself up in the system. It's really not that big a deal. All right, let's go to the next question real quick. And yes, this is going to sound like an ad, and I'm okay with that because I have the guy standing behind the camera here. Yes, winter training has already started. We had the first one a day ago. It was November 11th. I'm looking, Chris, is that right? The first one, was that okay? If you guys still want to get into it, we can still get you into it. You haven't missed anything. You'll just get that one version of it, that one copy of it, which some of you haven't even seen it yet. And then you'll be involved in all the other ones. And we guys just running for 4 months with a bonus month. Long game, short game, mental game, fitness, or flexibility in every single one, okay? And they're amazing. They're amazing, okay? The next one was a question from Ollie, okay? And I laughed because Ollie's one of my guys. Here's why we got it from Ollie. Ollie's one of our coaches. He's out there, and we put out call for questions, and Ollie goes, would you please answer this question? Because I've had like 10 people ask this every week, or every day. And he asked, what percentage of the rotation in the backswing occurs from position 0 to position 1, then from position 1 to position 2? Okay, so ask what percentage of the turn or rotation occurs. And the reason they're asking the question is this, okay? When you sit up in position 0, okay, and that's our setup position, okay? We're in position 0 right now, okay? When you turn from position 0 to position 1, you're turning the hips and shoulders to get to position 1, okay? Now you guys have seen me do this 1,000 times with a single plane position trainer, but I'm gonna do it with the club right now. So if I go from position 0 to position 1, I've turned my hips and my shoulders. Now, the percentage of turn of my hips and shoulders is between 60 and 75%. Now, you guys don't need to know that, but just understand there is a lot of turn, and there is turn between from your hips and your shoulders from 0 to 1, okay? There is a high percentage of turn. Now, the other thing that occurs from 0 to 1 is my trail arm is starting to fold and fold in. It's not bowing out, it's not going this direction, it's not tight, it's folding in. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a massive issue with our golfers, is they get up and they think that when they sit up, both arms are really tight. They are not. The lead arm has got a little bit of firmness and tightness to it. The trail arm is very, very relaxed. Very relaxed. So if I want a comparison between the lead and the trail, I probably have 80 to 90% stiffness in this lead. I might have 25% in the trail. It's light, it's relaxed, it's loose. That's what allows you to start to fold the arm in. And the reason I say that is because the proper hip and shoulder turn and the proper folding of the trail arm gets you in the proper position 1. And that's about 65 to 75% of the hips and shoulders. Now, when you go to position 2, you're cocking and hinging the hands to get to position 2 and the wrists to get to position 2, but you're continuing, listen to me carefully, the hip and shoulder turn. Do not think you go to position 1 and stop it and then just lift. It is a continuation. Now, a majority occurs from 0 to 1. Now, here's the deal. The reason why I can't give you an exact number is because it has to do with flexibility. Because if you're only flexible enough to get the club to here, which is okay, as we get over this flexibility, probably 80 to 90% of your turns occur to here. And all of a sudden we just lift to here. If you can go past that position, you can get further back because you're more flexible, it's still turning, but not as much occurred at the beginning, if that makes sense. So let's say I have 100% shoulder turn, is right to here, okay? And that's my chin to my shoulder, it's right there. Well, let's say I can only get to this position because that's how flexible I am. That's fine, okay? But if you put it and break it down in percentages, 80% will occur to position 1, you'll still have 20% to go, and that's all you got. Great, okay? Now, let's say you can take it back a little bit further because you're a little bit more flexible. Well, maybe 70% occurs here, you still have 30% to go. Because guys, position 1's the same for all of us. Listen to what I just said. Position one's the same. We cock and hinge up from position one to position two, and you go back as far as you're flexible. Now, and I'll add one more thing to that. So the big underlying statement of this is when you start, it is hips and shoulder turn to position one, folding of the trail arm. Now we cock and hinge up to get to position two, and we continue to turn the shoulders and turn the hips. It is a one continuous motion, okay? Now, one thing I want you to be careful. When you get to position two at the top, make sure you do not break down your lead arm. And this will be the next question, because too often we see guys trying to push it and they do this at the top of the swing. You got to keep your lead arm straight. Now, how straight is straight? Kind of a trick question, isn't it? How straight is straight? Well, I'm going to show you how straight is. You can hold up your arm. You should be able to take a club, hold it up in front of you, and balance it in front of you, okay? So the back of the handle match the top of the iron. You hold it in front of you. Look at your arm. That is straight for you. Some of you guys might have a slight bend in that arm, just a slight. That is straight for you. Some guys will be, almost look like you're double jointed. That's straight for you, okay? That is straight. Some of you guys can't hold it up, you're not strong enough, kind of balance it, that's straight. That is what your arm should look like at the top of the swing, okay? What I don't want to see is this. Too many people get and they start breaking the arm down. What happens if you break that arm down is you have to release that somewhere in the downswing. You can't hit with a bent arm. You hit with a bent arm, you're going to destroy your elbow and your wrist. So your body will naturally straighten out in the downswing. When it straightens out in the downswing, your club will cast. It will cast out away from you, okay? And you'll cast the club. So you've got to keep that arm as straight as possible. So a phenomenal exercise is working on keeping this arm straight and balancing that club. Welcome to winter training. We're going to laugh about this. This is in there. This is in there. In fact, I got Chris standing behind the camera over there helping me with today. Is that in winter training, Chris? He said, absolutely, right? Shaking his head. This is part of winter training. Guys, you can do this inside. You're building what? Position number two. Welcome to position number two. Get in a good spot, okay? So I know that was a long answer to that question, but a majority of the turn occurs from 0 to 1, but there is continual turn from position 1 to 2. Another question came in, and this is really common question. This is another like we got common question day today. Jane wrote in, said, I'm sliding towards the target in the downswing. How can I stop this? Okay. And so basically what's happening is on the downswing, we're going forward and sliding, going forward on the downswing. And slides, what'll happen when you slide, this when you're hitting iron, okay, or a hybrid, when you slide, you start catching them thin, you won't make a divot. Sometimes it turns into topping, usually turns into a block shot. It's just a non-solid shot. Usually a block to the right for righties, a pole to, block to the left for lefties, okay? So what we're doing is we're getting ahead. A slide in the lower body, if you put it on video, and my video coach will show you this, when you take a golf swing and you hit a golf swing and you hit a shot, your head should go down and back. So if you circle your head on video, okay, it should go down and back. This shoulder should drop under, the head should drop down and back slightly. When you slide, you can circle your head, you will see your head go forward in the downswing. And 99% of the time, I say that, it's a high majority of the time, a slide is from improper hip movement, okay? So what happens is, and this kind of leads to the last question we had, we turn the hip going back. As we turn the hip going back, we're turning this trail hip, the force of the golf swing stays on the inside of the trail knee and in the ball of the foot. So we turn going back. Now, when you make impact from there now, we re-rotate the hips, we get back to the flex lead knee, we now get back, the hips get ahead of the shoulders, and we make impact. Doing that properly, again, it's what your hips are supposed to do, keep the head in a good position. Okay, when you slide, most people slide the hips going back, they don't turn properly. Now, theoretically, if I go back, the bottom of my swing just moved back. My center point, my bottom point just moved back. So to compensate for that, I have to go forward to get there. So I have to slide forward, okay? So number one reason we slide is we don't turn the hips properly. We slide going back and forth, okay? That's number one. The second reason you slide is because when you sit there and hit a golf ball, okay? And this is, when you hit, and if you cast the club, so you sit and you don't create a good position 3, position 4, so you cast the club. Well, what happens is you start hitting on the upswing. So all you guys and gals out there who make almost no divot with your irons, you make no divot with your wedges, you don't make a divot with your irons or your hybrids, you just scrape the ground or make no divot, okay? You typically, it's 90% of the time or higher, it's because you're casting the club. Well, here's what happens. If you cast this club enough times, you start hitting the middle of the ball or the top of the ball. You start topping, you start catching it thin. So what the body will naturally do is you start going, pushing your body forward. You start pushing forward to now catch the middle of the ball or catch the ball and then try to make a divot. So you slide instinctively because you're casting the club. So I haven't seen you. I've got to see this in video to know which one it is, but 99.9% of the time we slide because we have improper hip turn in the backswing and or we're casting the club. And if you're doing either one of those, the way to compensate for it is you start sliding ahead of it. In slides, what happens to them? You block, you thin, you right, and then eventually it leads to a shank. I hate to say that, but it does. Now, here's what it comes down to on this though, is I would like to be able to tell you exactly what you're doing. And for some people, it's a combination of both, okay? But we gotta attack one of them. And I know Chris Anderson likes watching these, and I always bring this up, and I always thank Chris for this because he loves this term. You need to figure out which one of these is the issue, or what's going on in the swing, and then attack it with vengeance. Attack it with vengeance, okay? And I know Chris loves that term, because if you do that, that simplifies it for you, makes it easier to comprehend, and once you work on that one thing, guess what? So think about it. If I work on not casting the club, I work on drills to keep me from casting the club, it'll prevent me from sliding. So now all of a sudden, I'm working, it's just gonna eliminate 2, 3, 4 things by fixing the big thing, okay? So that's the big deal. Let one of my coaches tell you exactly what to work on. They're gonna go, boom, work on this, boom, work on this. And you will be shocked how much more simple it will make it and how all these things will disappear. Because all those things you got are compensations, which are bad habits, built around that one fundamental or two fundamentals that aren't correct. And trust me, I'm gonna throw this. Do we have any more questions for now? Are we good for tonight? Okay, here's the deal, guys. Here's our goal. Number one, we're gonna try to get you in the 10% group to make you better. One of those golfers out of 10 that are getting better. That's number one, but here's number two. Quit making this so difficult. I just had this talk with our school. It's so much more simple than you think, okay? It really is. And you're gonna sit there and say, blah, 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 and you're mad at me right now. Guys, if I'm Mo Norman standing here, this is Mo standing here talking to you, okay? So I resurrected Mo and I brought him in here because he said this 1,000 times. You make this too difficult, you overcomplicate this, and it's so much simpler than you think it is. And then he'd say, when you finally start figuring it out, you're gonna get mad at yourself because you're gonna go, wow, I way overcomplicated this. Then that's when he'd say, get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Well, the way you get out of your own way is know exactly what you're working on. Don't call me up and say, how do I stop coming over the top? You don't know what to work on. You're guessing that, sure, and over the top is a result. It's great. That, you know, I laugh, this is job security for us because 95% of golfers come over the top. But you need to know exactly why you're coming over the top. Are you not setting your lead knee properly? Are you not moving your hip back properly? Do you have an improper setup? Are you too close to the golf ball? Are you casting the club? Every one of those are causing over the top move. Every one of them, okay? But they're not hard to fix as long as you know exactly what to work on and exactly the drills and checkpoints to fix it. And you heard James earlier, we have many instructors that are all geared to help you with this, okay? And here's the other issue. If you're not sending videos into my coach, you're not talking to my coaches, you're not doing that one-on-one with my coaches, you're one of those guys out there just floating around. Because I've got literally thousands that are. In fact, I just went and looked this morning on my computer this morning before I got out here, and we had 2,500 people sending videos last month. 2,500 sending videos last month. And those that send in videos, I commend you, and that is amazing. I love it. That's why we're here. You guys make me feel so good when you do this. This is putting videos, chipping videos, driver videos, full swing videos, videos inside, videos doing drills inside. Man, you guys, the winter training is all about you guys sending in videos inside. Do us inside videos doing the training inside. 2,500 last month. It was amazing. If you're not one of those, I don't know what to tell you. You're just gonna keep guessing. Guys, it's that simple, okay? It really is. So I'm gonna leave this plane talk tonight. First, I wanna thank you guys for joining us. I think we have a giveaway, right? We have a giveaway, okay? So I wanna thank you guys for being with us tonight. I wanna thank you for joining us tonight. But I'm gonna tell you straight out, number one, please don't overcomplicate this, number one. Please keep it simple. We're doing this for Mo, okay? Keep it simple. Number two, I say number two. Number two, please figure out how you can become part of our 10% group. What do we gotta do to help you? I know there's a lot of members out there shaking their head going, yeah, and keep sending in the videos, keep working with my coaches. Even if you send in one video a month, one every 2 months, that's awesome, okay? Let's get those videos keep coming in. Number three is don't float around out there and guess. Never guess. Stop guessing. Guessing is saying, how do I stop going over the top? You're guessing because you're asking me, you don't know. Let us answer that question for you. Contact us directly. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. That's why I have all the staff out there. This is why we do this. We can help you guys so much. And last thing not, if you're not in the winter training, you're missing the boat, okay? We talk about burning the boat and getting all in, jumping in with both feet. The boat right now is setting sail right now, and that boat is our winter training. You want to jump on that boat with us? You're taking our cruise down to the Caribbean with us. You're doing winter training with us. You're not on that boat with us, that's fine. But when that spring hits, when March hits, and I've got thousands of people out there that have been on that boat with me, and we get off that dock and we're sitting there and we're so excited and we're all tanned up and we've been down there on that cruise and we're looking great, and you're standing there going, wow, I wish I'd have been part of that. I'm telling you right now, that's what we're doing, okay? That's what we're doing, okay? So what do we got? What's the giveaway tonight, Chris? Callaway AI smoke driver. So the driver, like I got my bag, okay?
William Miller, Pasadena, Texas.
William Miller from Pasadena, Texas. So Pasadena, Texas. So congratulations, Bill. Okay, congratulations. Pasadena, Texas. We'll get you that, we'll fit that up for you. We'll get that sent to you guys. So guys, you need anything, timg@graysgolf.com, or you see the links below this webinar, you can get on there. Okay, so timg@graysgolf.com, 866-377-2316, or 405-250-6960. That's the school number, am I right? 405-250-6960. You want those Black Friday specials? If you don't want to use that link, get on there. But guys, let us know what we can do for you, and we'll talk to you real soon.